Hi guys, what is going on, and welcome back to another video. Now today's video is going to be my tips for weight loss. You may have seen on my social media channels, I've talked about it a little bit on here. Now my background is an overweight person. I was about 4 stone overweight over my current weight now at my heaviest. The last few years I dieted down to bikini competition lean. Now that took a lot of restrictive dieting, not a very flexible approach, and I had the mindset up until really recently that it was only gonna be a one-way-fits-all approach, and that's the only way that anyone could ever lose weight. Now I now know that is totally untrue. Although dieting requires a calorie deficit, the amount of deficit that you are in obviously can range so much, but you can take a totally flexible approach on it, and I am going to share how I have done it and my tips in order to help you lose weight too. Now I am holding the camera because this is like a good light and join up in here, so I may get a dead arm, and I apologise for the same jumper that I wore in, I think it was like the second to last video that I did. I have other jumpers, I just like this one. Now my tip number 1, guys, is to use an app called MyFitnessPal. Now this is totally unsponsored, but I know that so many people use it. It's such a common app, it is totally free and you can download it. And what I love to do, and I will have shown you on previous videos, is I like to take a flexible approach. So I like to go out like in like an hour's time. I'm going out for lunch, and I don't always like to prep meals. Some of the time I do for convenience and actually because it really saves money, but a lot of the time, like on the weekend, I like to go out for brunch with friends or dinner out. So using MyFitnessPal, it allows you to kind of accurately track your macronutrients. So your macronutrients are your carbs, fats and proteins, what you are eating in every single meal. So for example, if I had like eggs and avocado on sourdough and then maybe like a little bit of feta in there, I could eyeball, are those eggs large? Like how much roughly avocado? Is there any butter on the sourdough? So a really good option, I say, is to have a sauce on the side. If there's any dressings or any butters, pop it on the side. Anything added to it, just like, again, pop it on the side or just leave it out. And then if it is like basic foods, you can roughly estimate. It does take a little bit of practice, and because I have like weighed out foods for such a long amount of time, I can roughly estimate. But if you are new to this, I would really recommend weighing out your foods first of all, so you can like roughly track and eyeball stuff, like how much chicken is that on my plate. You can kind of guess. Now I am not saying you need to 100% track your macros. A lot of people do intuitive eating. I personally like to track macros when I am going through a weight loss phase, because I can tailor my macronutrients, I can tailor my energy expenditure, like exercise, how much exercise I do, how much cardio I do, if I am losing weight or not losing weight at a different kind of rate. So I can tailor that really easily. If I am intuitive eating and I am not tracking at all, even loosely, you can be really like widely out of your macronutrient intake and not really know like by hundreds and hundreds of calories. So for me, if I'm going through a fat loss phase like I am at the moment, I would recommend tracking your macros. My next top tip is filling up your plate with greenness and different kinds of vegetables. Now not only are these vegetables really good micronutrients for us, they add a lot of volume to our meals. So if you are just having, say, a protein and say carb meal, for example like chicken and sweet potato, it could be quite small, but if you add loads of green salad and veggies to your plate, it just, the volume is bigger, so it looks and feels like you're having a bigger plate of food without really a lot of calories added to it. So I would recommend filling up on veggies, my top tip number 2. And my tip number 3, guys, is to keep hydrated. A lot of the time when we're dehydrated, we can associate that, and our brain tells us that we are hungry, and actually we're not. We're just dehydrated and need water. So if you are not great at drinking loads of water when it's not got any flavour to it, I would recommend adding maybe like a sugar-free juice. What I like to do, especially when I'm going to train, or even just like to sip throughout the day, I like to add some aminos, BCAAs to my drink, because that just enables me to drink lots of water. I've actually got some over there which I've just added some of the Ghost blue raspberry aminos to, just because it makes me chug water. So my top tip number 4, guys, is healthy swaps. I am not saying that we should just cut calories and that is going to be the be all and end all, but if we have had a day of eating, and I know at night, and it's like the common signs that we're like, what can we eat that is sweet? A lot of the time we think, oh, we'll just go to Raid the Biscuit tin, or we'll just have loads of chocolate. I know that I personally love sweet food, but sometimes if we're on a fat loss phase, we just don't want to be eating loads and loads of chocolate, guys. So what I tend to do, I love at the moment some Greek yogurt and blueberries at night. I'm sure you've seen me make protein ice cream, which is so nice. So I use 1 scoop of whey, ice, water, maybe chuck in some like a little bit of fruit, and what makes it really creamy and ice cream consistency is half a teaspoon of xanthan gum. It just makes it so thick and creamy, and then blend it all like in a NutriBullet, and that makes it like an ice cream consistency. My next top tip is be prepared. I know moving to London that it takes me so much more time than I ever anticipate getting round places, and I know if I am unprepared, I haven't got any snacks on me, any like meals that I've bought with me, or I am very easily persuaded to go to the shops, buy a little bit of a takeout, or you know, buy something that I don't really need. And not only is that costing more, because things like that, if you just get something on the go, do cost more, I know that probably it isn't the best option, and I could have just bought something. So what I would always say, even if you are thinking, oh, I'll just be out for a few hours, I'll just get a meal when I'm back, often we come back like ravenous. We just want something there and then, and that's sometimes when we can make the unhealthy choices, or the choices that we would not normally choose. So I find eating like little and often, being prepared when I'm out, and making sure that I have like a little snack on me. My next top tip, and what I've really found has helped me in London, is to get more steps in. And in London it's so easy to get steps in. I found when I was up north, I just used the car all the time, because you have to get places using the car, but here it's all about the tube, and it's about walking to the tube, like walking underground. When you get to your destination, it's about walking to the destination when you get off the tube. So I find that I can easily hit, if I am out and about, 10,000 or more steps. I have done in the last few days especially. Getting your steps in is a really good way of helping burn calories. It's not just about going to the gym and getting that exercise in. You do not need a Fitbit or like an Apple Watch, although I've got both, but I don't currently use them at the moment. I literally just use the free health app on my phone, and yeah, that isn't the most accurate way of calculating things. However, it does give you a rough guide, and if you are using that every day, you will be able to have some kind of idea, some kind of rough idea, and gauge what to go off every day. So my next tip is a training log. I would say it's really useful to document your weights. Obviously, this video isn't about how to track weights and make progress with strength and muscle mass. However, it really does make a difference if you track what you are doing in the gym. Because, for example, if you do, say, 10 sets in the gym one day and then the next week you do 20 sets, your energy expenditure is going to be obviously different. So my last top tip, and probably the most important one, is do not beat yourself up if you have a bad meal, if you have an off day. That kind of thing happens. And if you're in a fat loss phase 3 months down the line, you aren't gonna think like, I am nowhere near where I need to be because I had that pizza 3 months ago. So if you do mess up, if you do have a day where you're just not feeling it, if you do have too many chocolates one day, do not think it's the end of the world. And what you shouldn't do is really beat yourself up about it and then think, I'm just gonna sack off the rest of the day or the rest of the week, or even worse, just sack off the whole plan in general and give up. So what I like to do is just have a day, write it off, be positive about the next day, and then just get yourself back on the bandwagon, because in fat loss phase, it's consistency that is the key to losing weight. My arm is going completely dead now, guys. Next time I will put this tripod on a stand and not hold it, because that was a silly decision from me. I really hope you've liked my top tips. If you have any top tips for losing weight or fat loss, please make sure you pop them in the comments below. Thank you for watching, guys, and I love you lots, and I will speak to you very soon.